Good afternoon. This is Ron Mickens. Fraud upon the court. We know what? The truth is in the details. Fraud upon the court is synonymous with the Willie Lynch doctrine. They Willie lynched us. They are synonymous. They are what? The same. They are both fashioned to trick us into lynching ourselves or to destroy us. Let's start with the Willie Lynch doctrine. How to keep a black man down from the white slave owner to another. In the words of Willie Lynch in 1712, the man who lynched Virginia was named after. There are many ways in which you can keep control over your slaves. His wisdom of 282 years has not been changed. It's been a total of 310 years now, but it's time for a change. Gentlemen, I greet you here on the bank of the James River in the year of our Lord 1712. First, I shall thank you, the gentlemen of the colony of Virginia, for bringing me here. I am here to help you solve some of your problems with slaves. Your invitation reached me on my modest plantation in the West Indies, where I have experience with some of the newest and still the oldest methods for control of slaves. Ancient Rome would envy us if my program is implemented. As our boat sailed south on the James River, named for our illustrious King James, whose Bible we cherish, I saw enough to know that your problem is not unique. While Rome used cords of wood and crosses for standing human bodies along the old highways in great number, you are here using the tree and the rope on occasions. I caught the whiff of a dead slave hanging from a tree a couple of miles back. You are not only losing valuable stock by hangings, you are uprising. Slaves are running away. Your crops are sometimes left in the fields too long for maximum profit. You suffer occasional fires. Your animals are killed. Gentlemen, you know what your problems are. I do not need to elaborate. I am not here to enumerate your problems. I am here to introduce you to a method of solving them. In my bag here, I have a foolproof method for controlling your black slaves. I guarantee every one of you that if installed correctly, it will control the slaves for at least 300 years. My method is simple. Any member of your family or any overseer can use it. I have outlined a number of differences among the slaves, and I take these differences and make them bigger. I use fear, distrust, and envy for control purposes. These methods have worked on my modest plantation in the West Indies, and it will work throughout the South. Take this simple little list of differences and think about them. On the top of my list is age, but it is there because it only starts with an A. The second is color or shade. There is intelligence, size, sex, size of plantation, attitudes of owners, whether the slaves live in the valley or on a hill, east, west, north, south, have fine or coarse hair, or is tall or short. Now that you have a list of differences, I should give you an outline of action. But before that, I shall assure you that distrust is stronger than trust, and envy is stronger than adulation, respect, or admiration. The black slave, after receiving this indoctrination, shall carry on and will become self-refueling and self-generating for hundreds of years, maybe thousands. Don't forget, you must pitch the old black versus the young black male, and the young black male against the old black male. You must use the dark-skinned slave versus the light-skinned slave, and the light-skinned slave versus the dark-skinned slave. You must use the female versus the male, and the male versus the female. You must also have your servants and overseers distrust all blacks, but it is necessary that Your slaves trust and depend on us. They must love, respect, and trust only us. Gentlemen, these kids are your keys to control. Use them. Have your wives and children use them. Never miss opportunity. My plan is guaranteed. And the good thing about this plan is that if used intensely for 1 year, the slaves themselves will remain perpetually distrustful. That is the Willie Lynch doctrine. So let's go on. Got to show you how this is the same thing as fraud upon the court. They are synonymous. Our previous 27 videos prove beyond any doubt, we 100% prove that state attorney, all the attorneys, judges, and politicians, and bureaucrats, they are what? They are racist. They have committed a war against the Constitution. They have committed what? Treason. They have obstructed a criminal investigation. They have obstructed justice. They have interfered with interstate commerce. They violated the constitutional oath. We were, in essence, Willie Lynch. They are racist to the highest degree. Now, if you viewed my 27 video, you know I broke it down for you. Oh, this is real good. That's Jerry Hill. He Willie Lynched us. This is his interview investigative report where Miss Canady confessed to over 40 crimes that she committed, crimes and torts that she committed against her. But he Willie Lynched us. Okay? He covered it up. Here I have this document. All those red tabs that you see, those are fraudulent orders and judgment. It proves 100% that they are racist, they are criminals, they are racist. The 27 videos that I have published prove it 100%. That's why protesters got to widen their scope. They just got this narrow focus on just the police officer when all of them are racist. So what? Stay with me. You got to stay with me. Jerry Hill, he and Miss Canady, they confessed 100%. That is 100%. They reversed everything. Is what you call Willie lynching. And they said that is what Ron and Gloria Mickens desire. That is Willie lynching to the highest degree. Now, the Willie lynching of George Floyd, okay? He was Willie lynched by the use of unnecessary force, threat of force, and fraud, pursuant to the Constitution of the universe, the powerful doctrine. This is the most powerful doctrine in the universe. Not just the world, but the universe. I know you have to be puzzled, baffled, bamboozled. You don't get this, but you gotta stay with me. Initiatory force is a cardinal sin. They've been hiding this secret from you for over 2,500 years. If you initiate force, you are supposed to be put to death. That's it, period. That's what the Constitution calls for. The lawyers, judges, Attorney General Keith Elliott, and the family attorney Ben Crump. They know this. They know this like they know the back of the hand. But they playing games. They playing games with you because you don't have the knowledge and understanding of what objective law is. You don't understand what universal natural law is. God-given law. This law did not come from, real law don't come from man. Man is flawed. Okay? They can only create fraudulent, frivolous laws. So, the Constitution of the universe, all you have to do is ask Keith Ellison and ask Mr. Crump, is what I'm saying isn't true. if you have this kind of knowledge, they have to admit it. They've been knowing it. They've been knowing it like they know the back of their hand. They don't tell you this knowledge because they know 85 to 90% of the public don't have the education. They've been indoctrinated. They've been stagnated. Okay? They don't have this understanding. So what? You got to stay with me. Politicians, judges, lawyers, and bureaucrats, they conjure up subjective political agenda laws on the color of law. This form guy over here, he'll let you know that you have the right, you have the constitutional right to sue or criminally prosecute anyone who force you or force subjective laws against you. Okay? It's unconstitutional. That's under Section 18, USC 241, 242, 245. All these statutory laws are unlawful. Okay? So I'm going to give you some examples because I have to prove. I have to prove my point. This is paper. I'm put it up there so you can read it. No driver's license required in the U.S. Protesters, please understand this. We have millions arrested and in prison because they don't know the difference of the distinction between a traveler and a driver. Drivers operate on the highway for commercial purposes. They conducting business on the highway. Travelers is just traveling from point A to point B. They have a constitutional right to do that. You are not required to have a driver's license. I have this abstract which have all the pertinent common law cases that support that. Every case law that ever been litigated in this country is supporting this document, and they don't have any opposing law that say that you don't have a constitutional right to travel. But you guys don't know that because you get arrested every day in prison, every day. Same thing when it comes to taxes. You don't know that taxes are what? They're voluntary. If you don't know how to execute your rights is not self-executed. You have to know how to execute your right. They're voluntary. Okay? I know you don't quite get all of this. It might not make sense to you. I pulled this document. I found this document, doing research here. Check out the name. Don Quixote School of Law, Common Law Abatement. This is where this abstract. I'll show this to you, okay? But it has all the supporting precedent law to prove 100% what I'm saying to you. Trust me, I've seen with the FBI, other law enforcement agencies, they all confirm it if you know your rights, but protesters do not know their rights. Okay, I know this sounds, I don't mean to embarrass you, but I do. I've told some of the protesters that I was a teacher. I'm an educator. And what I'm doing now, I'm educating you about the Willie Lynch doctrine that we all been indoctrinated in. Okay, I get a little bit further down the road about the King James Bible, how they put you in this box. You believe in this Jesus that they created three years after 300 years after the real Jesus died. The real Jesus was a teacher. He was anti-government. Okay, he was anti-religion. Okay, what Jesus Christ was trying to teach you to use your mind. He was trying to teach you that you had a conscience and that you were a self-leader. All this so-called authority is fake. Okay? So, but I don't want to get in that because I'm gonna have to tell you step by step to teach you how the Bible and they turn this mysticism, Jesus, into Willie Lynch theory. Willie Lynch didn't invent this theory. You know, this came from King James. King James and his writers. And it was all about controlling slaves. Okay? So you're gonna have to stay with me on some of these things. I know it may sound a little bit confusing to you, and you never heard it before, but you gotta hang in this because this is your key to your revolution. It is time for a change. Religion and politics, they were responsible for the death of 160 million people in the 20th century, and that did not include the 19 million that was killed in the wars. Okay, so you got to understand this about what's going on here with this government. You're operating in what you call a Pericles Platonian democracy. They are the father of lies. Okay, they know how to make harm seem helpful. They know how to make good seem bad. You've been set up. You've been bamboozled. You've been led astray. You've been Willie Lynch, and you don't even know it. Okay, so you gotta hang in there with me. Remember, I said too, the only real leader is self-leader. So you gotta start using your mind and not start following somebody else and what somebody else tell you. You don't know nothing until you confirm it yourself. And you gotta understand too that we are Willie Lynch slaves, but we also President Franklin D. Roosevelt strawman slaves. They tricked our mothers when we signed our birth certificates into slavery because the country went in bankruptcy in 1933. So he had to sell us into slavery. The lawyers joined the conspiracy and pretty much sold us out in 1939. Okay, so they just be faking like they so-called representing you. Okay, they all sold out to the international bankers because the country was in bankruptcy. Check it out. Erie versus Railroad. Erie Railroad versus Thompson. That's the official case where the attorneys kind of sold us out. So stay with me. Knowledge is power. We must learn to think outside of this box that they put us in, that they indoctrinated us into, stagnated us, not educated. I'm an educator. I know they stagnated. Okay, I can go into the deep details because I know what's going on in the school system. Okay, as long as they keep 85 to 95% of you with lack of knowledge, they can do anything they choose to us, and that is why they are murdering us. They are lynching us. Okay, because we lack knowledge. Knowledge is power, and this is why I'm sharing this knowledge with you. Okay, knowledge. People with knowledge. Once the people get power, then it's over. You got your revolution. Trump ain't got no power. What are you talking about? The power is in you. The power is in the people. Okay? It don't matter whether Joe Biden or whether Donald Trump is president. Okay? All you need to do is make sure that they enforce their attorney general, U.S. attorneys, and their federal investigating law enforcement agency enforce your constitution. You out there protesting, talking about for reform, and talking about more regulation and legislation. All you asking for, you asking the fox to guard your chicken, to guard the chicken house. All you can get from your politicians is conjured up laws that's going to benefit just them, not you. You being duped. They're professional liars. Okay, they're plutonium liars. They're Pericles liars. Bill Clinton was superb. He was a super liar. He even had African American people thinking that he was African American, that he was black. All he had to do was to blow a horn, and we fell for it. Okay? Okay. It's time for a change. It's time to be able to see through these illusions that they have created to continue willy lynching you. Okay? It's time for a change. Let me pick up my I always like to sort of like shit out with a good quote. The cure for lies is the truth. The truth rests with and is restored upon the people, not government. The people empower the government, not the other way around. When the government goes against the will of the people and starts to subjugate its people summarily and arbitrarily, then people must reject and expose the government for its fraudulent and unconstitutional act. If we have a political organization, it's supposed to benefit the unhindered development of the individual. Okay? You have to view my previous videos. You have the information to bring about the revolution. You have the numbers now. Okay? You cannot miss out on this opportunity. But looky here. If this don't make sense to you, I'm going to come back. I'm going to come back and I'm going to continue to lecture. But the protest, you got to understand, we've been duped. Okay? You got to get out and do a little homework on your own so you can know this kind of stuff for yourself. Over 2,500 years, I'm sharing these hidden secrets from you. Nobody, I was able to give this document. You see the name of the Constitution of the universe to some of the protesters. Some of the majority of them had absolutely no understanding of what they had in their hands. Okay? You wonder, where in the world did this man get this from? I know most of you don't even have a clue what it means. So that's why I'm trying to introduce you to the concept of initiatory force, because that is how they really lynch George Floyd. And if you know your rights, if you know what's going on, they can't deny it because they've been caught in a matrix of lies and they cannot get out of it. It's impossible. They can run these games on you, but they cannot run these games on Ron and Gloria Mickens and the other people that I have been able to lecture and share this knowledge with. Okay? Reality comes around, and it's time for change. So that's going to be it for today. But you know, I'm coming back because you got to get it. You got to get it. Hey, the truth is in the details. So what? Stay with me. I'll talk to you next time.